It started in a supermarket car park. I was reminded recently of the time I sat in a supermarket car park talking to Elizabeth Strout live on the radio. It was after her book Olive Again had been published, and she was a guest on Radio 2 Book Club talking about it. Our reading group had been chosen to discuss it, and parts of our conversation was recorded and played on air. But then they wanted one of us to ask the author a question live on air. I can't remember what the question was now, but I do remember how surreal it felt on a busy Saturday afternoon in a car park talking live on Radio 2 to an author, if only for a short time. Of course, I became a fan of her books after this and have avidly followed her as the subsequent books have followed. Her two standout protagonists are Olive Kittredge and Lucy Barton, with a number of books featuring one or the other becoming popular reads over the years. They are two very different characters, with My Name is Lucy Barton telling the harrowing story of Lucy's childhood and eventual reconnection with her mother. Subsequent novels follow Lucy's life as she herself becomes a successful author. Anything is Possible and Oh William are followed up with Lucy by the Sea, which sees her being whisked away to the coast of Maine by William, who is now her ex-husband, as COVID lockdowns take hold of the world. Olive Kittredge, on the other hand, is a collection of interlocked stories introducing us to Olive, a retired school teacher who approaches life with an ironic wit as she copes with a struggling marriage and poor mental health. It's followed by Olive Again, where the now-widowed Olive unexpectedly finds love again with Jack, also told through a collection of short stories. They don't always feature Olive at their centre, but she is always present in some capacity. Through this trope, we are introduced to the lives and stories of a wide and varied cast. Now, coming soon, is the newest publication, Tell Me Everything, a touching amalgamation of the lives of both Olive and Lucy. In Tell Me Everything, Lucy is still living in Maine with William and is introduced to Olive, who is by now quite elderly and living in sheltered accommodation nearby. Lucy is introduced to Olive and begins regular visits where they take it in turns to share stories of ordinary people they have met over the years, celebrating their lives and acknowledging the extraordinary in all of us. The added extra in the novel is the character of Bob Burgess, a married retired lawyer who features in an earlier book, The Burgess Boys, and who, in this novel, has taken to walking regularly with Lucy along the coastal paths, something they started during COVID. Against advice, he takes on the curious case of defending a man accused of murdering his mother, investigating and getting to the bottom of what actually happened. Over time, Bob finds himself falling in love with Lucy as his relationship with his wife deteriorates. But you'll need to read it for yourself to find out what happens. At the centre of all of Elizabeth Strout's books is the acknowledgement that we all have a story and that everyone's story is worth telling and worth sharing. Her conversational and frankly unique style makes the novel extremely accessible, and her skill at revealing even the most complex characters through these stories has won her many accolades over the years. My question is, though, will we see Olive again in another story, or is this her swan song? The author herself has said that Olive will not die on her watch, but has not said if she will base another novel around her. But I hope that Lucy reappears. I feel that her story is not quite over yet.